Hey guys, it's Mark Flockhart giving you another insurance advice. This is going to be the top 5 insurance companies for 2017. And most of this information is going to be based off the J.D. Power Associates from the reports of 2016. So this is very accurate information. I'm not going to get into the stability details because pretty much 90% of these companies, or probably all of them, are going to be in the A+ or A range for as far as stability goes. The number 5 spot is going to be auto owners, and they've been around for a long time. Their reputation is actually right on their website. Their reputation is being the no problem people. So when you have an issue, if there's any issues, there's none with them. They're going to take care of it, jump on the ball. That's one of the more important things as you guys go into 2017. A lot of companies are going to streamline their process based on us, the customers. They're trying to appease us because they know the rates are fluctuating right now because of all the claims that have happened in the last year. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to focus more on customer service. They're going to sell you the value of the company more than the cost or the prices. That's something different. We always shop by price. We always have. Most of us do, but they're focused on the confident planners because your confident planner is going to be someone that's not likely to leave the company after a year or 2 years. If the rate changes, they're going to stay because if they like the company, they know they're being taken care of, they're not getting taken advantage of. That's the type of person these companies are looking for, and they know that it's not going to be based off of price. It's going to be based off of value and a customer experience. This company insures modified vehicles, or they call them converted vehicles. So if you've got like a conversion van that you turned into something else, that's something a lot of these companies don't do. That kind of separates auto owners from the rest of the guys. There are other companies that do that. These guys really stand out and do that. You know, where most of these, I don't even know. I don't even think in this top 5 that I'm aware of that any of them do converted vehicles, because that is something that a lot of companies just don't want to touch. One of the things that stood out to me the most was something called the Personal Auto Plus. This makes these guys a completely different niche, because a lot of these companies, sure, you can add most of these features, but you're gonna nickel and dime. They're gonna put little pieces in here where these guys have created a program that you can just get one package and most of these will fit you. So the benefits of having the Personal Auto Plus: there's trip interruption coverage. It basically provides up to $500 for expenses if your vehicle is disabled. Now that's a mechanical disablement. It doesn't mean if you're in an accident, that's not going to be covered. Now you also have to be 100 miles or further away from home for this to happen. This is something AAA did with their membership. I don't know if they still do that, but that was something kind of neat that a lot of people loved. Here's a real cool thing. There's something called cellular phone. This is part of this package. It's called the cellular phone or two-way communication device. So what that is if you have a GPS system in your car or a cell phone, it doesn't even matter. And the thing is, they don't even say if it's in the car. They just say if this device is stolen, they'll provide up to $500 worth of coverage for that. If you are interested in this, get more details with them. They didn't have any asterisks, so it doesn't say specifically whether they're going to cover it if it has to be in the vehicle, or if it's broken or stolen. The thing to watch out for with that is don't necessarily file these claims, because I don't know how that would file on an insurance claim. If it files as a claim, that could hurt you as far as insurance goes. But if it's categorized similar to like towing and road service, that's something that wouldn't hurt you. You can file those all day long. You could have 10 of them, and the companies will just disregard it because it doesn't matter about that stuff. They're worried about claims, and that can affect your eligibility or pricing with other companies. Non-owned trailer. This was pretty interesting. It's only covered for physical damage. So if you are borrowing a trailer, you cannot own it, and it can't be a family member's trailer. They will cover up to $1,000 for damages if something happens to that trailer. That was pretty cool. Supplemental payment coverages. So in the occurrence that you need bail bonds on the result of an accident or traffic law violation, $500 is provided up to $250 per day to cover any lost earnings and expenses. Personal property coverage. So any of your personal items. If there is a theft or attempted theft if there's result in a loss to personal property contained in your vehicle. This type of auto insurance coverage provides up to $500 for that loss. So that's pretty cool. Now keep in mind, if that happens, you must call the police right away, get a police report, otherwise they're likely to just throw that claim out if you call them a week or two later. Automobile and stereo, video and media coverage. Yeah, that one's not so important anymore. Most of us don't have CDs or anything like that. If you have a car stereo that has maybe a TV in the car and you got DVDs, sure. They do limit it to the actual DVDs. It's $1,000 total, but they do limit it to $200 for just DVDs and CDs. If the vehicle is stolen, which is a rarity, so this isn't something I would lean my purchase off of, but if your vehicle's been stolen, so if you're in an area that you think it's more likely to be stolen, then they will actually provide you, basically give you a rental car, $50 per day, up to $1,500 total per occurrence. They have something called the rekey coverage. This is part of this package. In the event that the keys are stolen and the theft is promptly reported, so you have to call this in. This eliminates people from doing these false claims. Oh, I lost my keys, I better just go get another set made. If you want to do that, get a AAA membership, and I think they cover like up to a certain amount to rekey your keys or something. Anyways, it covers up to $250 to have the lock system redone or replaced. Deductible and mandatory. In the event, if your vehicle is attached to a trailer and you're in a collision with a vehicle not owned by you or a relative, okay, it can't be you or your family member, and if it's not insured by them, they will apply the highest deductible. So they're going to cover it. That's kind of a nice thing to have. Your collision deductible will be waived. If your vehicle attached trailer is involved in a collision with another automobile and they are insured with the company, then they're going to waive the complete deductible. So in order to get that package, you do have to have full coverage. So it's not something that you can just do with liability. You have to have the minimums that they do require. If you want to learn more, go to their websites. I will try to put a link in the description below for different options as far as quoting different companies. I'll try to link each of these companies' website in here as well. Top insurance company number 4, Erie Insurance. That was a surprise to me, to be honest with you. Erie Insurance has always been that online. We created it for online people and the media in that type of world. So it was more of a call center type company, and they've done really well. They have a program called the Auto Plus. So it provides pet coverage, and that's built in, okay? That's up to $500 per pet. So all you pet lovers, that's per pet to a total of $1,000. If they have a couple pets in the car, hopefully you're not, doing a walking dog business. Although if you are, I don't think there's any restrictions for that. With collision, if you have collision, up to $350 for personal item coverage. That is something that isn't typically covered. Sure, if you get an accident and something breaks, that might be covered. But if you're in a collision, they're going to cover up to $350 of your personal items. They offer a 1-year policy. I couldn't figure out if auto owners offered a 1-year policy. I looked all over their website, so I'm just assuming. But the 1-year policies have been known to be a little bit less expensive. Also, when the rate fluctuates with the 6-month policy, you're not likely going to be hit as bad. Although that's not that big of a deal because it will catch up with you, because the following year you'll be hit harder because you're catching up to the other 6 months. So that part I don't really worry a whole lot about. But they do offer a discount for that. The last thing that they do is they offer discounts for drivers under 21 when they live in the same house with their parents and the parents have insurance with them. Okay, so that's actually huge. I said that quickly. If you are a parent and you've got a child under 21, you are going to get a discount, which is very rare, just if you add the kid to your policy. That doesn't necessarily say they're going to be the best price. This isn't just based on price. This is based on a lot of different factors. Although just keep in mind, when you do tell them that your 16-year-old driver just started driving, they usually make you either add them or exclude them. And some companies don't let you exclude them. So you may be having to force yourself into a quick decision. Number 3. New Jersey manufacturers. They have over 840,000 vehicles insured. There is a caveat to this. So they only insure in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. If you live in New Jersey or Pennsylvania, that's definitely going to be an option for you to call. They are probably one of the biggest companies. When I talk to somebody that lives in New Jersey or Pennsylvania, I get a lot of people coming from New Jersey manufacturers. Not to say that they're looking to leave, but they're always shopping for the best price. That's one of their big kickers. They're price based on the average policy holder in the state. That is so big, such a big thing, because if most places base you on the zip code that you live in. So if you live in 49510, whatever, I just made up a zip code. If you live in that area, they're going to see all the accidents in that area and rate you based on that area. So if you're in a retirement community, there's more likely accidents. You could be the best driver in the world, but they're going to rate that against you. The positive is if you live out in the country and there's nobody around, they're going to rate that towards you. So you're going to get that benefit. So those that live in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, those are larger cities. They are likely to have a lot more claims, a lot more accidents. So now you got a company that's going to rate the whole state instead of just this tiny little area that you live in. So if you're one of those people that live in that tiny little area that's not so great, New Jersey manufacturers, that is going to be a great company for you to call. They also do dividends back. And that's something I saw with the next company as well, is they basically, at the end of the year, they say, okay, here's our claims. Here's the money we took in. We took in way more money than we did claims, which is the whole point of them in insurance. They're trying to make money, right? If you want to learn more about that, I'll click a link up here where I talk about how insurance companies make money off of you. In that event, which from what I've read has pretty much been almost every year, they will actually give you a dividend back based on what you're paying. So if you've overpaid, which nobody else does this, not many companies do this, you're going to get money back. That's pretty cool. It's not going to be huge. I mean, it might be $3, it might be $100. I don't know. I'm not in New Jersey. The second top company is USAA, and that stands for United Service Automobile Association. Another caveat, you have to be eligible to get this insurance. So how are you eligible? According to their website, you have to be either active or retired or honorably separated officer that was enlisted in the U.S. military. So you have to be part of the military or have been part of the military or left the military on good terms, or you have to be part of a family member's plan, or you have to have a family member that is part of the military. So you can do it through family as well. That's one of the benefits. There's a good and a bad to it. The bad, if you guys are hearing this, you're not part of it, you're not in the family members, your parents aren't part of that, aren't military, then you can't get it. That's just the way it is. That's one of the reasons these rates are better and their service is better, because they're able to focus on a specific niche. And that's one of the things you're going to find with some of these insurance companies that will put them at the top or at the bottom, because they either did really bad at it or did really good. USAA did really well with it. They have 24/7 claims. You will almost always get a hold of somebody. 24/7 doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get somebody on the phone. It might mean that you might have to wait for a while to get somebody, and who knows. But their claim service is really high rated, so I'm assuming that you're going to get a hold of somebody right away. They are member owned, so same thing that I just mentioned, they're giving dividends. If you've paid more in and the company is successful, which they pretty much always are, that's the point of the company, then you're going to get a little kickback from it saying thank you. We appreciate your business. You paid us a little bit too much this year and we did really well. Thanks for driving safe. Here's some money. And then they're also a bank. That's something that's really cool. So it's not just car insurance. The USAA brand is like an all-in-one brand. I don't know a whole lot about the banking part of it, but I can tell you from personal experience or knowledge of this type of situation, when you bundle things, auto, home, life, all of these guys do this, you get 15%, 20% off, huge discounts, right? But what if you banked with them? If anybody on here is with USAA and they bank with them, please leave me a comment below and let me know your experiences. If it's awesome, not awesome, let us know. Insurance company number 1. If you haven't guessed it already, it's the Hartford. Now, the Hartford, I have heard about lots. I don't get a lot of customers that call in that shop from the Hartford. So whether that means they're large or small, they're a large company from what I know. And I've heard of them and I've heard they're really well. I'll be honest with you, I thought Amica was going to be one of the top companies because in the past they have done really well. And I'll show you where they're at on this chart. One of the reasons the Hartford is at the top is because they are partnered with AARP. So if you are an AARP member, they are likely going to give you a better deal. And they're also going to package with anything else. Those bundles, they bundle with companies. They're smart. It's like when you bank here, when you do this here, if you do everything with us, we're just going to give you money back. That's one of the smartest things you can do as a company. They have lifetime renewability. That is a big question mark. I don't understand what that means. I tried to look it up. I didn't get a whole lot. If you're an agent, put a comment below, let me know, because that's something that was really interesting. They have a 1-year policy. So same thing, you're not going to lose that rate change right away. They have something called Recovery Car Assistant. I call it loss of use. So basically, if you're in an accident and you can't use your car, or something happens and you get injured in an accident, they might pay any additional living expenses while you can't work, while you can't mow the lawn now because your leg is broken. You have to pay somebody to mow the lawn. You can't do things that you normally did, so they're going to cover a certain amount to that. I didn't see how much it was, the actual limit, so you may want to look into that. New car replacement, 1515. It's 15,000 miles or 15 months. So if your car is less than 15 months old and less than 15,000 miles, they're going to replace it with a brand new year model car. Lifetime car repair. Most of these companies have something similar to this. That's something you'll have to ask when you do, if it is an importance to you. So when you get a repair, you can go to any mechanic you want. Just about every company lets you do that. However, if you go to their recommended mechanics, then what they'll do for you is they'll give you a lifetime repair. So if that repair breaks down or goes wrong, it's covered. It's covered for life. It's a warranty. 24/7 claims, same thing. That's a huge thing. Disappearing deductible. I didn't read a lot about that on these other websites. So that was something that I like because I haven't had an accident in I had one accident when I was 16 and it wasn't my fault, right? Why would I need to pay that extra money? Your deductible goes down and down and down. That's a great thing to have. Some companies do offer it, but they do charge you for it. I don't know if the Hartford does charge you for it. And the last thing that stood out with me was accident forgiveness. This is also another thing that a lot of companies offer, but you have to ask because there's a lot of different states that they don't offer it in. Now, Hartford says that they do offer it to most states. Accident forgiveness is a really good thing. If you're in an accident, your first accident, and the restriction is you cannot have had an accident within 5 years. So if you have, grit your teeth and wait, okay? Because as long as you go that 5-year period, you're good. They're going to ignore the fact that that happened. The reason that's important is because most companies will rate that against you hard. If you run into a lake, right? Or you hit a kid, or you hit a wall, no matter what situation that's in, that is huge because you now have an at-fault accident on your record. You're going to be calling companies left and right because your once $500 every 6 months or $800 every year policy is now $1,200 a year, $1,500 a year. That's a big difference. So I wanted to do one last piece before I let you guys go. There was a couple honorable mentions, and I'll show you the list that I have here. The number 6 spot is Amica, so they are on the top list. I was surprised because they used to be really high up there as far as that, so maybe something's changed. Nationwide was number 7. Auto Club, which was California Insurance Group. Don't quote me on this, but I believe Auto Club, unless it's a completely separate company, that to me has always been AAA. So even though they offer membership, they offer insurance as well. Allstate, Country Financial, never heard of them. Farmers Insurance, and Hanover. Now, 3 things if you guys are with or are considering these. So Allstate, Country Financial, and Farmers, they are great companies, but they are a little bit lower as far as claims recovery. If you look over the total list, I mean, there's tons of insurance companies. When I say that, that's low on the top list, the top 10 list, okay? So they are 3 out of 5 stars. That's above average. However, if you compare the rest of these companies that I mentioned, all of them are 4 or more stars out of that situation. My findings were based off of J.D. Power, and this was the overall rating of the company, so customer service, claims, the rental car process, which a lot of them, actually a couple of them got some negatives on the rental car, but that's usually out of their hands for the most part. So there was the overall, and I did a little bit of extra research on my own outside of that because I wanted to go in a little bit further and see what made these companies special. So I hope you guys liked the video. Give it a thumbs up. Smash the thumbs up if you loved it. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. Let me know. Let me know in the comments, what company are you with and where do you think they should rank in the tops? If you have questions or if there's another video you'd like me to make based on insurance, leave that in the comments below. Otherwise, till the next one.